You are Locked On Bama, your daily podcast on the Alabama Crimson Tide. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back into Locked On Bama. Luke Robinson, that's me. Jimmy Stein, that's him. Jimmy, how are you today?
I am doing awesome. We're in this championship thing again. And, you know, we don't take enough credit here. How many times have we been in a championship since we started talking Tuscaloosa and then now Locked On Bama? We're largely responsible for all this.
I think it is mostly us. I mean, look, I don't want any of your congratulatory pats on the back. Your money is fine. Jimmy, let me tell everybody, first of all, this episode is brought to you by Sonos, S-O-N-O-S. Go check them out, sonos.com. I want to thank everybody for making us the first place you listen to a podcast. Jimmy, so this episode will air on Tuesday. I've just made that decision just now. This is about 10 o'clock on Monday when we're cutting this. Yesterday, I did a national Locked On crossover thing with the guys from Locked On Georgia, my good buddy Clint something. I can't remember a lot of these people's names, but it was really kind of funny. Man, I like doing it, by the way. And I know Georgia fans can seem rather cocky. And look, they should be kind of cocky. Georgia's got the second or third or fourth best program in the country right now. I mean, they should be a little cocky. I think that's fine. Now, I think it was funny in talking to him. You get the feeling like they want to be real cocky right now. Like, oh, yeah, we're beating Alabama this time. This time, we ain't screwing around, by God. We're ready. But there was also a part of him that was saying, we never beat them. We're not going to beat them. Quit believing we're going to beat them. It really is like when you get set up on a blind date and you're pretty successful. You know, you're a good-looking dude. You're okay. You've had some success. You were engaged and it got called off, so people know you're willing to go all the way. And then you go out with a girl that's got an hourglass figure. She's got beautiful come-hither eyes. She's got natural pouty lips. She's got this hair that you just love to toss and want to wrap your face in. Everything's great. And you're like, she could love me, but there's part of you going, there's no way she will ever love you. She wants somebody richer and better looking than me. And that's how it feels like this is. Like Georgia feels like we've done a lot. We should be really proud and we can do this. And then there's this one little side going, no, y'all never do this. Quit thinking that.
Well, I think the more our fan base giggles and laughs at the thought of Georgia beating us is bad juju. That's probably bad juju, you know. So I'm not sure that's, but I mean, it's got to feel, you know, like Groundhog Day to these guys. How about this? It's like I'm getting this from my buddy Craig Stevenson with AL.com. It's like our fifth meeting with Georgia since 2015, and only like in none of those games, none are regular season matchups, and we're in the same conference. our fifth postseason matchup with Georgia, and we haven't played them in the regular season but one time. I guess it's our sixth actually since 2015. We did play them last season in the regular season, but
we played them in 2015 at Georgia.
That's right. I should have said since. Oh, I said since 2015. We played them one time in the regular season. Isn't that right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So we played them in 2015 and then again in 2020. Well, the point is, it seems like we're playing them annually, and yet they're not on the schedule. And
you know, it's funny. I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but I said this to my good buddy Clint from Locked On Bulldogs. I said, I don't mean this as a shot at Georgia. I don't think of Georgia as a rival. Not that I don't think of them as a peer. I do think of Georgia as a peer. I don't think of Georgia as a rival in the sense that I don't hate Georgia. I don't hate them. I mean, I'll hate them next Monday night, but I won't hate them. But for the length of the game, I might hate them if they win and they bark in my face at the stadium or something. But I don't hate them. I mean, it's not like the way I feel about Auburn or the way I kind of feel about. I don't really hate Tennessee though, or something like that. It's just not. I don't. It's not like LSU to me or something like that. I mean, Georgia's different, and so but continue.
Well, I would go just continuing on that. I would say that Alabama and Georgia are the two best programs in college football right now. It was Clemson for a while, but boy, between getting run in national championship games and now this past season, it's hard to throw Clemson up there in the top tier. It seems like, boy, they really sort of fell off the ladder. But it's Alabama, it's Georgia. This is a generational Georgia team. They lose a lot off this team. Now they'll be good again next year because they recruit so well. But put it this way: it's hard to imagine Georgia being better next year, but it's almost easy to imagine Alabama being better next year. So, in that sense, this Georgia team really needs to win this game, and I'm expecting a knockdown, drag out, brutal knife fight in a ditch kind of game. And I don't mean to imply that means that both teams are just going to run the ball and just pound it into the middle of the line of scrimmage and it just be a physical slugfest and sort of look like the 2011 Alabama LSU game. I'm not implying that. I just mean the intensity, the physicality of the hits, the plays being made on the field, both head coaches with butt cheeks clenched during the game, very conservative decisions being made because you don't want to lose this game. No, everybody's going to be too scared to win it. No one wants to lose it. I think it's going to be intense, and it's the two best, not just the two best teams, the two best programs in the country right now slugging it out. And I think there's going to be a lot of want to on both sides.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. And I think it's going to be a fun game. And all these people bitching about it's a rematch. I mean, it's the best two teams. If you don't watch this game, you just don't like college football. That's the bottom line. I mean,
well, it means that you don't want the two best teams to play. It means you want something other than the two best teams to play.
I've never understood the whole, I don't want the best two teams to play because I'm going to protest. I mean, look, I think it's much more understandable if you don't watch Loyola Chicago in the Final Four because you're like, I know this is BS. I mean, this is a team that got hot and not a team that's one of the best in the country. I understand that a lot more, but that's just me. I want my Final Four in basketball to be Kentucky, Duke. I don't know. Throw out somebody, Michigan and I don't know. Throw out another good. I can't even think of a good basketball. Syracuse. I would love that Final Four. That's a kick-ass Final Four. Or Alabama. I would love Alabama to be in it because I'm an Alabama guy. But if Alabama's not in it, I want the best four teams. I say it all the time. I went to the Final Four in 1992. Duke, Michigan with the Fab Five, Indiana, and Cincinnati. Now, and Cincinnati with Bob Huggins, and they had a bunch of badasses. Tell me that's not something you want to go see. I don't care to go see a Final Four with 3 8 seeds and a 4 seed. That's not fun to me. But anyway, Jimmy, let me tell everybody about Get Upside. Get Upside is an app, and I have this app on my phone, and I had it on my phone before I even realized we're going to start doing live reads for this. Now, let me read this live read, okay? But I'm telling you people, I had this app on my phone because what you do is before you go to a gas station, you just hit Get Upside. And so when you do that, you're like, okay, I'm going to go in here and fill up and use, this specific card that I have in the app. And it gives you money back for your gas trips. So, if you have an electric car, I mean, you're SOL, but if you have Upside and you have a gas car, then this works great. And so I've, made, I don't know, 20, 30 bucks since I've been doing this for like 2 months. And I mean, it's nothing. It's just a little, but I mean, hey, at Christmas time, when your daughter wants to buy something and you're like, hey, I got $30 right here just because Get Upside is free money. I can buy her whatever piece of crap other Christmas thing she wants. It's free money. Go get it. Look, Alabama fans, this is Luke Robinson with an incredible app everyone needs to buy gas to know about. Oh, wow. I don't know how I read that so wrong, but it's Get Upside. My listeners are making up to 25 cents for every gallon of gas every time they fill up. Just download the free Get Upside app in the App Store or Google Play right now. Use promo code touchdown for NFL or SCORE for college. So use SCORE for college because we're college. So use SCORE, promo code SCORE, and get a bonus 25 cent per gallon on your first fill up. That's up to 50 cents cash back. Don't pay full price at the pump anymore. We get cash back using Get Upside. Just download the app for free and use the promo code SCORE to get up to 50 cents per gallon. That's Get Upside, promo code SCORE. You can cash out on PayPal, or you can get an Amazon gift card, or you can get some other gift card. They got a litany of gift cards. Go check out Get Upside. You're going to love this thing. I promise you. And it's free. It's all free. It's easy. It's super easy. I'm telling you, I've used this before this live read. So trust me on this, people. Also, want to tell you about NetSuite. Look, this is it. The putt to win the tournament. If you sink it, the championship is yours. But on your backswing, your hat falls over your eyes. Is this how you're running your business, you crazy fool? Poor visibility because you're still relying on spreadsheets and outdated finance software. To see the full picture, you need to upgrade to NetSuite by Oracle. Over 28,000 businesses already use NetSuite. For the new year, NetSuite has a new financing program for those ready to upgrade at netsuite.com/locked. Head to netsuite.com/locked for this special one-of-a-kind financing offer on the #1 financial system for growing businesses. netsuite.com/locked. Go to netsuite.com/locked. All right, Jimmy, second segment here. Let's talk a little bit about how did our signees look in the Under Armour All-Star game Sunday? Were you able to see any of that?
I was not able to watch much, but through our reporting and On3, I was getting really good on-site reports from our national team that was there, and it's really good. Y'all to check that out. Charles Power, for instance, was there all week, and he's really good at that. I think the big news, and to me, it's almost earthquake news. You know, one of the reasons I love these national all-star games is so many of the variables are removed when you evaluate high school players. You know, it's all apples versus oranges when you watch a player, you know, at Spain Park versus a player at Dothan. I mean, and how do you know for sure who's good when you watch the tape because of who they're going against and all these other things? Well, these national all-star games, I mean, it's a peer group. It's supposedly the best prospects in the country all in one place. They're playing against other great prospects. They're playing against the same guys they're going to be playing against, you know, in college football. So I think when somebody really stands out at the Under Armour game or the Army game, it doesn't mean someone's a sure thing or a lock, because there's still other things that could happen. But it is a really, really good sign. And I say all that to say, Tyler Booker, the tackle signee from IMG, was outstanding all week, big time. Some people thought he was the very best prospect in that game, and he proved it all week in the practices and in the game too. And if it ends up that Tyler Booker is a freak, and we need one, we were hoping Brockermeyer and Latham would be immediate starting tackles, and that didn't happen, but neither one of them were the MVP of Under Armour week, you know, like Tyler Booker's been. So I think he is the big story. Emmanuel Henderson had a pretty good game statistically with about 40 yards on 4 carries. And Aaron Anderson had a nice game with like 3 catches for 50 yards. Jaheim Otis had a sack. Jahad Campbell had a tackle for loss. So there were some contributions in the game from our guys, and a lot of them did well all week, but the big story was Tyler Booker. And let's pencil him into the conversation for a starting tackle job at Alabama next fall.
Yeah, let me read what 24/7 had to say about him. They actually said the alpha dog was Luther Burden, who had us on his final list, but he ended up signing with Missouri, and I think that's great for Missouri. He's from East St. Louis, so that's fantastic for them. Their other stars from offense were Chris Marshall, who Alabama was in on, signed with A&M. Devin Campbell, who I don't think is signed with anybody. I guess we're still on him technically. Antonio Williams signed with Clemson, and then Tyler Booker. And about Tyler Booker, they say the big man had a very good week of work, playing both tackle and guard. His technique and skills continued to stand out. Having a thick build and frame, along with playing with low pads, gave him a constant advantage against guys he faced in the run game. Booker showed good balance and punch power in pass pro in the one-on-ones, as he would consistently lock up guys and stall their rush. Now, one thing I noticed in the game, and I didn't get to see all the game either, but I did get to see some of it. He was up against Walter Nolan, and that's going to be a battle for the next 3 years. It's going to be fun to watch. Of course, Walter Nolan signed with A&M. He was one of their badasses for defense, according to 24/7, as was C.J. Hicks, who signed with Ohio State, William Johnson with Michigan, and then Jahad Campbell, who signed with Alabama. And it said, Campbell showed that he is able to be a guy that a defensive coordinator can move all over the front seven as his favorite chess piece. He has the ability athletically, along with the instincts, to play off-ball linebacker or as an edge rusher. He's another guy that can add so much weight to his frame that the finished product is going to be exciting to see. And then they also said Shamar Stewart, who had Alabama on his list at one time. I think he's going to end up at A&M. And Dalen Everett, who Alabama decided not to really pursue and signed with Georgia. And then Popeye Williams, which is a name I'm not familiar with, but he signed with Louisville. I'm looking really quickly about some other notes here, and it says Shaz Preston and Aaron Anderson will keep the Alabama receiver corps stocked well for the coming future. Both have playmaking ability and do a nice job of getting yard after catch. I'm looking really quickly to see if they had any other notes for anybody. Not really in terms of Alabama. There were a lot of A&M guys on this list. A&M actually passed Alabama for the best ranked class of all time when they got Harold Perkins to commit. For those who didn't know. So overall, pretty good. The All-American Bowl is coming up this, when is that? That's, is that Saturday? All-American Bowl is going to be noon Saturday, yes. And so everybody's beginning to check in for that. So that'll be something to keep an eye on. And Jimmy, let's go ahead and take another break. When we come back, we'll wrap the show up. All right, Jimmy. Of course, anything else out there from the bowl game season that just tickled your fancy? I thought the SEC ended up having a nice comeback. Kentucky gets a nice win. Man, I love me some Wan'Dale Robinson. God, he was fun to watch. The Ohio State-Utah game was a lot of fun to watch. I think that the narrative of bowl games don't matter, while it's kind of true, at the same time, I think competitors compete. And so when Utah and Ohio State got out there, I think they were like, okay, we're here. Let's go ahead and win this damn thing, both of them. And I thought that was fun to see. Yes, occasionally you will see a team kind of mail it in, and that sucks. But when a game does come together, like the Ohio State-Utah contest, man, it's a lot of fun to watch. That game was a blast.
Yeah, it was. I watched that one, and you could not watch Utah-Ohio State and believe for 1 second that no one playing in the game wasn't doing their best. And let's remember, I mean, sometimes, a lot of people think, maybe Mississippi State mailed in their performance against Texas Tech, and that's quite possible because who saw that score coming? But most of these players that play at big schools have NFL futures, and if they are taking a game off, if they are mailing it in, they're taking a huge risk with their future because it's not like NFL scouts don't watch it all and take it all in and see every game tape. And I just don't understand the mentality. Any kid that's in college football that wants to play in the NFL, you better bring your A game every week because they're watching every week. They don't take weeks off from watching you. So why are you taking weeks off when you play? So I think it's a little overblown by the media and some analysts about these kids that don't really care about the bowl games. I think the kids that are there are the ones that showed up, the ones that are playing the game. I think over 90% of them are competing really hard, and it makes for an entertaining game. And Utah-Ohio State was definitely one of the most entertaining games of the bowl season. If LSU manages to beat Kansas State Tuesday night, the SEC will finish at 500. One point to remember about the SEC's bowl record. The SEC's bowl record wasn't good in 2017 either, when Alabama and Georgia were both in the finals, both in the playoff. And let's just think about this logically, okay? Let's just say Alabama didn't make the playoff. It was Georgia. Georgia beat Alabama in the SEC championship. So Alabama didn't make the playoff, right? So, well, then Alabama would have played Baylor in the Sugar Bowl. And then Ole Miss would have been knocked down to the Citrus Bowl. And then the Citrus Bowl team from the SEC is knocked down to the Outback Bowl. Everyone gets knocked down a bowl. Then what would the SEC's record be? It would be better. It wouldn't be undefeated, but it would be better. So keep in mind that the SEC had 2 teams in the playoff. So that means everyone in the SEC that's in a bowl is playing up. And that's important to remember.
Oh, that's a really good point. And, somebody like, boy, I hate to defend them, but somebody like Auburn playing Houston, as much as I enjoyed Houston beating them, I mean, it's kind of not right. I mean, now maybe some of this is offset by the fact that Auburn certainly had the home field advantage playing in Birmingham. I mean, they could literally Uber to the game, but Houston was a good squad. They were the second best team in the AAC. Auburn was at best the 7th or 8th best team in the SEC. And so it's not apples to apples. We all know this. And I think the way Alabama toyed with Cincinnati, I'm really getting a little bit peeved already. Chris Childers with XM Radio, was it Full Ride? He predicted Cincinnati to win the game. And then when they got beat 27-6, he was like, yeah, I thought Cincinnati proved they belong. I mean, look, you can argue that all day, but I think you should also factor in that Alabama they really toyed with Cincinnati. So, I mean, come on. Don't act like Cincinnati, that he kept saying, man, they really shut out Jameson Williams. Yeah, because we didn't have to throw deep because our running back was getting 8 yards a carry. We've gone over this. We don't have to throw deep. So, I mean, I'm sure Nick Saban could have made this worse. If it was a national championship game, I think we would have made it worse. But in an effort to not probably show our hand and not, risk injury, we just handed the ball off all the time. So I think that going back to I don't even know what the hell I was going to say, Jimmy. I don't. I got pissed off thinking about Chris Childers.
I'm sorry.
Houston, sorry, everybody.
You're talking about Auburn.
I know. It's too late. Jimmy is gone. Quit trying to save me. I'm drowned. I'm done. I'm dead. So this, what? This is as good a place as any to wrap up. So that'll do it for this episode, guys. We will be back tomorrow getting ready for big Alabama Florida basketball game in Gainesville on Wednesday night. So looking forward to it. So until that, roll tide, everybody.
Roll tide.